The Chicago Bears just made a very fascinating signing in former first-round pick Jedrick Wills Jr. from the Cleveland Browns. Did not play last season, was rehabbing a knee injury, had been banged up some in 2023 and 2024, opted to rehab all of last year, and now he's back in the NFL. He took some visits and ultimately is choosing to sign with the Bears. 1-year deal, contract details to be determined. Probably a vet minimum, maybe a little bit more. Maybe there's like $1 million or $2 million in incentives if he were to play and play well, so on and so forth. So I'm fascinated by this move. We're going to do a full breakdown here on Chicago Bears. Now, what is your one-word reaction to the signing of Jedrick Wills Jr.? Left tackle. Let me know down in the comment section below your one-word reaction to this signing. My one word, fascinating. This guy has a lot of physical talent. Top 10 pick in 2020, the 10th pick out of Alabama. And I pulled up his combine profile, his measurement, and his testing. Take a gander at this. 6'4", 312, 34.25-inch arms, 10-inch hand size. He ran a 5.05 in the 40, which for a guy at that size is incredible. Almost a 35-inch vertical, 9.5-foot broad jump. As well, and he has started 57 career games for the Browns, including their full-time starter his first 3 years in the NFL. Again, he was banged up those next 2 years, but when he was healthy, he was their starter. Hasn't quite ever put it all together. He's had some up and down seasons. A lot of his grades are in like the 50s and 60s. He's had pass protection grades in the 70s and the 60s though before, so he has shown some upside. The last we saw him, which was in 2024, he started I believe 4 or 5 games. Graded out not great. Pass protection, he's always been better in pass pro than in run blocking, which I think is important if you remember what Ben Johnson said before training camp last year of what they're looking for in their tackles. Guys who can pass protect one-on-one. I think that is a bigger strength of his than run blocking is. But he's got physical traits, and now he joins a team that has Dan Rochar, a history of developing offensive linemen. A guy like Teron Armstead basically turned into a Hall of Famer under Jedrick Wills. I'm not saying he's going to be a Teron Armstead type, but I like this. This is a calculated swing. Not much money, probably very little guaranteed. Come in here and compete. Braxton Jones is back for $4.3 million. Jedrick Wills. You've got Theo Benedict. I wonder what this means for Theo. Do they view Theo as more of kind of like a roamer, like he can play some guard, some tackle. We can line him up at fullback, really athletic guy, 6th offensive lineman. Like maybe he's not someone who really ends up factoring in at left tackle because remember in the playoff game, they didn't go to Theo Benedict at left tackle. They went to Joe Thuney with Jordan McFadden at left guard, who, by the way, McFadden remains unsigned, so I'm not sure if this indirectly factors in to his future whatsoever. We don't even know if Wills will make the team. I could see this going from being anywhere from he doesn't make the team to he's on the practice squad to he's a backup to he wins the job. I wouldn't rule any of that out when it comes to Jedrick Wills Jr. You now have 2 options at left tackle that have started 44 or more games in Braxton Jones and Jedrick Wills, both who were dealing with injury issues recently. But Jones is healthy. Wills took last year to get healthy. I would imagine the Bears did a medical scan on him. He should be good to go. So I'm excited. I'm fascinated to see how this comes together. Pretty much no risk. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You've got Braxton, you've got Theo. You could still add a draft pick, but it gives you the options to not force the issue in the draft if you do not want to. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you guys Bears content every single day. We've been live throughout NFL free agency, live for almost 8 hours on day 1, live for 6 hours day 2. Then I went live for the Max Crosby stuff last night until 1 o'clock in the morning. Been live for 3 or 4 hours so far today, and we're not slowing down. Videos all the time, breaking down every move. Hit that sub button. Thank you for 160,000 subscribers. We are chasing 161,000. Shoot your shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Prize Picks will now give you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. Football might be over, but what month is it? What's that smell? Oh, March. That's what month it is. That is the month for basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Conference tournaments going on. The madness just around the corner. Points, rebounds, assists, combo stats, three-pointers, free throws, fantasy score. Pick more or less on stat projections and set your Prize Picks lineups today. If you don't want to do hoops lineups, if you don't want to check out other sports, if you're a football junkie, hey, season-long stat projections are out. I took more on Max Crosby's sack total projections, more on Caleb Williams passing yards, and Colston Loveland receiving touchdowns. $20 lineup to win $100. That's an example of a Prize Picks lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is so good to be right. Okay, a little more on Jedrick Wills, and we'll kind of just recap everything that's happened up to this point. Again, I like a lot of what the Bears are doing. They're plugging holes at starters. Devin Bush. You get Coby Bryant. But then you also sprinkle in some kind of value, just some swings here, but not ones that are going to – not a Dio Adengbo swing where it's like, okay, he's been decent. We think he can be really good. No, a guy with pedigree, former first-round pick, but he's been injured. The play's been up and down. Probably very little guaranteed money, but low risk, medium to potentially high reward in Jedrick Wills Jr. Again, there's a scenario where he could be your starter. Now, he may not even make your team, but I'm intrigued. I'm glad that the Bears are taking a swing like this, and I think they're confident in their ability to develop and get the most out of players. We saw that a lot with this roster last year. So I'm rooting for Jed Wills, and let's face it, too. He goes from the Browns situation to – I know it's the Bears in the last several years. You're like, ugh. Well, last year, pretty damn good, and a offensive coaching staff that has a lot of credibility right now. So it's been a busy free agency period, even if it hasn't been the sexiest free agent period for the Chicago Bears. Garrett Bradbury on board via trade to be your starting center. Daniel Hardy back as a special teamer. DeMarco Jackson, potentially a starter. Maybe he's your Sam linebacker. We'll see on a 2-year deal. He plays special teams as well. Neville Gallimore, rotation D-tack on board for a 2-year deal. Coby Bryant is going to be one of your starting safeties. Devin Bush, one of your starting linebackers. 2 really reasonable contracts there. Case Keenum, 2-year deal. He's back in the fold. Braxton Jones, up to $10 million, but his cap hit's only $4.3 million, so $5 million of that is in incentives. Khalif Raymond, only 3.6 is the base, up to 5.1, so another great value signing there. Cam Lewis, 2 years, up to $6 million. Kentavious Street, I would imagine 1-year vet minimum, battle for a roster spot, kind of like Jed Wills, who they just brought in. Elijah Hicks back on a 1-year deal, and then Jedrick Wills, 1-year deal after missing last season. Excited to see if they can get the most out of him. Talking about the Bears. These are the guys they've lost. They traded DJ Moore, which became official today. Olamide Zaccheaus to Atlanta. Dominique Robinson to the Texans. Tremaine Edmonds to the Giants. The Jets picked up Nashawn Wright. Chris Williams signed with the Falcons earlier today. Kevin Byard did land. He is now a New England Patriot. Durham Smythe is off to the Ravens, so tight end 3, a potential opening for the Chicago Bears. Cheap vet or a draft pick is probably what I would look at there. Maybe Theo Benedict does some of that role from a blocking standpoint. That is certainly a possibility as well. Appreciate all the love and support. We're posting a lot of our free agency reaction on social media as well in short-form content. So if you want to support me, I would appreciate it. At HGramNFL on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook by searching Harrison Graham Chat Sports. If you want to give me a follow over there, I would appreciate it. If you're on your desktop, you can just go straight to the link, facebook.com/HGramNFL. I'm all over the place. Come find me. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Bear down.